Educational, informative, controversial content to keep you free. This is the Radio for Freedom Network, featuring The Phil Garris Show, broadcasting from the city beautiful Orlando, Florida.
Hello, welcome to The Phil Garris Show. Today, in today's podcast, we're going to talk about why libertarians have blood on their hands and how libertarians may have unknowingly contributed to the tragic events in Charlottesville. But first, I like to give my thoughts and prayers to the people that lost loved ones in Charlottesville. Most libertarians have abandoned the core traditional values of American libertarians like Henry David Thoreau in favor of an AltRight authoritarian ideology. This shift in libertarian values has three major changes in ideology. One is the abandoning of Thoreau's ideology. Two is blind acceptance of big business. And three is the acceptance of the AltRight. First is the abandonment principle. The abandonment of successful principles employed by Thoreau that influenced Muhammad Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and the counterculture were heavily influenced by Thoreau's libertarian ideology. Libertarian ideology of non-aggression, humanistic philosophy, and civil disobedience has proven successful throughout history. Muhammad Gandhi, with Thoreau's ideas, led an independent movement against harsh British rule in India. Gandhi used non-violent civil disobedience. Gandhi was successful in gaining India's independence and encouraged movements for liberty, civil rights, and freedom across the entire world. Martin Luther King Jr. used Thoreau's tactics of civil disobedience and nonviolence to successfully advance civil rights, liberty, and freedoms to all Americans. The counterculture movement used civil disobedience and nonviolent protest was clearly influenced by Thoreau's libertarian views. This had a major effect on ending the Vietnam War, civil rights, and taught the entire world to question authority. John Lennon once said, "If you use violence, the government knows what to do with you. If you use nonviolence, the government does not know what to do." Even though Thoreau's political strategies have been proven successful, somehow libertarians decided to recklessly abandon this strategy. The manipulation. Just after World War II, big business needed a political platform to help escape high taxation. The wealthy, making $1 million, were paying 79% tax rate. Wealthy business owners wanted a business lobby front that would represent their interest. The first think tank was created on March 7, 1946, was a so-called libertarian lobby group called the Foundation of Economic Education, which was funded by large businesses to promote research, free market, and libertarian ideas. However, the libertarian ideas that were promoted were not the ideas of early American libertarians like Thoreau. Only ideas of the Foundation of American Economic Education wanted to promote was an ideology that would help big business, cut taxes, cut regulation, and had nothing to do with Thoreau's libertarian views. This is how American libertarian ideology started to change, by abandoning humanistic libertarianism and replacing it with a libertarian cronyism, this is the first shift to the right for libertarianism. To show you how insidious this new libertarian movement was, the interest of young people would be exploited by using the term freedom and liberty and telling young people that libertarianism supported the freedom to use drugs, have sex, and avoid the selective service. Just keep government off your back and out of your pocketbook was the cry. However, the real strategy was to stretch this concept to big business by pandering the idea that all government is overreaching, overtaxing, and destroying your liberties. Therefore, less regulation is needed for business. This scam had nothing to do with libertarianism and the successful strategies by Thoreau, Gandhi, King, and the counterculture. Libertarians have blood on their hands and the acceptance of the alt-right. After abandoning humanistic libertarianism and replacing it with a far-right libertarian cronyism, libertarians were vulnerable to additional manipulation to move the ideology to the extreme right, the alt-right. In fact, the Libertarian Party of Florida harbored and supported a far-right candidate, Augustus Sol Invictus, for the Libertarian nomination in the United States Senate in Florida. Despite allegations, Mr. Invictus penned a paper advocating eugenics and had a desire to start a civil war. He enjoyed wide support in the Libertarian Party of Florida and becoming an officer in the Libertarian Party of Florida. Mr. Invictus had been labeled a racist and neo-Nazi, which he denied. However, the paper he wrote in law school supporting the legal, ethical, and advocating a case for eugenics seemed to validate such claims. He also had an appreciation for Carl Schmitt, a Nazi. Schmitt, who joined the Nazi Party in 1933, had participated in the burning of books by Jewish authors. The Southern Poverty Law Center has listed Augustus Sol Invictus as an extremist. Here's a quote by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Augustus Sol Invictus, a goat-slaughtering, warmongering, one-time Senate candidate from Florida, is trying to reinvent himself as a leading voice in the alt-right, unquote. Augustus Sol Invictus has participated in the events in Charlottesville, Virginia. Libertarians have abandoned American core libertarian values, like Thoreau, in favor of a racist authoritarian ideology, like the Libertarian Party of Florida, who openly support alt-right extremists. Most members of the Libertarian Party have no clue what libertarianism is, and currently do not understand the manipulation used against them by the alt-right. Any libertarian who supports racists and Nazis, I tell you what, you have blood on your hands. Thank you for listening to the Phil Guerra Show, and support true freedom and true liberty like Thoreau envisioned.